High school boy football look this season. People them ready, you know. Alright then, pick up, manning cup. Oliver your shield, you make we link up. We watch the Champions Cup, Ben Francis Barker Cup. Which team are win the championship this season? Yo, ISSA, one diver school I go finish the league and beat now. Which youth I go collect the golden boot and be the
Yeah, welcome back to the SportsMax Zone. Still with football, the semi-finalists for the Inter-Secondary School Sports Association ISSA Schoolboy Football All-Ireland Knockout Competition, the Champions Cup, are now known following quarter-final action at the weekend. Here's a reminder of Friday's results, starting with Ultra in their second time of playing in the knockout competition, beating St. Catherine High by 2-0. Keanu Reid getting both goals in that one, while Jamaica College got the better of McGraw High by a similar scoreline on the back of a brace from Dylan John. And in Saturday's doubleheader, the first encounter between Hydel and Garver Maceo produced 5 goals. Quite a thriller, that one. Hydel prevailing by 3-2. Dante Brooks getting 2 goals. Deshaun Henry and Keanu Jackson on the score sheet as Hydel get into the semi-final round of the competition. Meanwhile, defending champions Glenmuir High needed an added time winner to get by 2-time champions Kingston College. Here's how they did it.
These highlights are brought to you by KFC, it's finger licking good, and water, land of good and water.
Confirmation as we look at the highlights. Glenmuir winning this one. This is how they did it. Was early opportunities for Kingston College, like this one. They did peg back Glenmuir for the first 5 to 6 minutes. Headley had the first real chance for Glenmuir, that one just going wide, the free kick. But Kingston College did apply pressure as early as possible. Matrin Martin, the Guyanese, looking for someone inside, forcing Murray to make a save there. But Watson was good, and as long as he was taking shots, he was always a threat. The first goal finally came, and who else but to deliver than Orain Watson? That threat finally causing damage, and he had the first goal, sending Glenmuir up 1-0. Kingston College, they knew they had some work to do, and they kept pushing forward. This one in from Byfield. Martin going above the goalpost, over the crossbar. A good chance, but they finally made something out of nothing. Demario Daly with this shot. We all thought it was going wide, but it landed into the back of the net, and all Murray could do was spectate. Had some difficulty coming off his line, and the moment Daly saw the opportunity, he took the shot. Watson laying this one for Cohen and Reese, averting that danger. They kept coming forward, Kingston College. Daly had a glorious opportunity to put them ahead, and that one was wide. He was disappointed with that, and so too all the fans who remember that shot. But confirmation will come for Glenmuir. As we thought they were going to penalties, this came up. Allen on the receiving end of this pass from the substitute Binns. Ricardo Binns seeing his player making a run, and Allen was there to boot it home, giving Glenmuir that 2-1 victory over Kingston College.
Those highlights are brought to you by KFC, it's finger licking good, and water, land of good and water.
Dwight Jeremiah was in the analyst chair for Saturday's matches, and he joins us now. Dwight, just quickly, a couple of housekeeping matters before we get into the meat of the matter. One, a lot of individuals have been asking about the fact that the matches were played in Montego Bay and there was no Western team in the last 8. I did reach out to the ISSA president, Mr. Keith Wellington, earlier today, and he told me that neither Sabina Park or the National Stadium Northern National Stadium was available at the weekend, and that's the reason I guess they ended up in Montego Bay. So there is that. I also want to put this question to you though, Dwight Jeremiah. When the Champions Cup started initially, and I guess in a way it still is, it is supposed to be a clash of the best of the rural versus the best of the urban. But in the early days, they would try as much as possible to keep those rural versus urban matchups all the way until it was no longer possible. And so you didn't have a set bracket at the start of the competition. We now have a set bracket. What it means is that at the semi-final stage, we have an All Da Costa Cup and the All Manning Cup clash, whereas if it was done like in previous years, you would have the mixture. Your thoughts on how it is done now in comparison to how it was before?
Well, ideally you'd want, because it's a rural versus urban, you'd want it to go all the way to the final to have that type of matchup. But I guess the downside of it is that persons will accuse the organizers of setting, giving a team an easier tie than the other. So I guess to get away from those thoughts or any doubt as to how those matchups should be, I guess a set way is what came up. So if other teams had won their ties, if it hadn't gone the way it did, then you probably would have had that matchup. So maybe the best way to do that is to go back to when you have 16 teams in it, and at least up to that point, at least you get 2 rounds of games where rural teams are up against urban teams. So that may be a thought for them to go back to that.
Yeah, I would like that, and you would love that, because maybe William Knibb would then get into this competition, as you pointed out last week. By the way, congratulations. You were 3 from 4 as far as your predictions were concerned. The only one you got incorrect was the Garva Maceo versus Heidel game. Of course, Heidel coming away with the 3-2 win there, but I'd like to say that you did pretty well. Maybe better than some...
It was close. It was 3-2.
Yeah, and it was close. So you probably did better than some prediction gurus around the place, but I'm not getting into that.
I leave you with him.
I want to talk about Tani Lynch, the Jamaica College goalkeeper, and the red card that he got, the source of some controversy. That was Friday night, that match, Jamaica College taking on McGraw High. Now, initially, and I don't think anyone really picked it up on Friday night, and we'll get to have a look at the footage shortly so everyone can see what I'm about to talk about here. In fact, I don't think I can really talk about it without seeing it on screen. Here is a look at it, the red card that was given. Now, let's have a look at this replay, Dwight Jeremiah. Goalkeeper Lynch comes. Now watch this. The ball goes onto his left hand. Look at when he turns though, and we'll get another look at it to see if there was a touch with the right hand. There you see, it's clear he is outside of the area. And whereas on Friday night, I think a lot of individuals were thinking that it was the ball being hit onto his left hand, and there is Lynch himself signaling there's no way that can be a red card. Here it is, bang. I am not convinced anymore that it was because of this why the red card was issued. Now watch when he makes the full turn, and just about there, the right hand might have hit the ball. And yeah, we can go through that in slow motion. I just want to get your thoughts, Dwight Jeremiah.
I think you're onto something there, Ricardo, because it was the assistant who also had indicated early to the referee that it was a handball, and that right hand that you're talking about would have been on the side of the assistant, so he would have had a clear view of that. So I think it could possibly be that. I don't know. Some would say it's a get out clause or a get out for the referee, but when we look at it here, yeah, definitely hit the hand there on that replay. So, and it was the assistant on that near side, which indicated that it was a handball out of the box. So I guess that dispelled the doubts that it was not supposed to be that. Initially, persons were saying where it hit him on the hand, the arm, it would not have been a handball, but it certainly would have been if he was out of the box with the initial touch, because only under the armpit is considered not a handball because they've done away with the sleeve issue because you can't determine the length of the sleeve and the base of the sleeve as being that. So I think on the evidence of that replay, whether or not that is what they saw would exonerate the officials and make them seem like brilliant officials on the night.
We don't have a lot of time. I just want to get your overall comments on the first weekend of Champions Cup action and the 4 teams that made it through.
Well, I tell you what, I like Ocherios. I thought they were going to be the best bet for St. Catherine. I did say they're set up in that way. It's going to be tough for them against Glenmuir. Glenmuir did get past them 3-0, and I'm not going to bet against Glenmuir because they're such a good unit, so I'm giving them. The other tie, Vassal Reynolds will pride himself on as a tactician and will make it difficult for Jamaica College. Won't want a repeat of what took place in the Manning Cup. He feels that cannot happen again when I spoke to him off here. So he will come with a plan, but I still think JC may just have enough.
Yeah, so that's JC over Heidel, you're saying, and you think that Glenmuir...
Yeah, sorry, yeah. My bad. I was saying... I
don't know why you're keeping Kingston College in this competition.
But no, JC over Heidel for sure. And what I saw with Heidel, I still believe that Garvey Massey was a little bit too open for my liking and didn't pay attention to the likes of Jackson, who was man of the match. He was, all over the place, was free every time. I don't think they get that joy this time around. So well, I think this is the end of the road for Heidel. Yeah,
well, Dwight Jeremiah, TV time, airtime is not free, so we have to go. We have to take a break. We'll chat again soon. Take care, man.
All right, good.
We'll be back in a little while. Stay with us.
People, I'm ready, you know. All right, then. Pick up, Manning Cup. Oliver, your shield, you make we link up. We watch the Champions Cup. Ben Francis, walk a cup. Which team are win the championship this season? Yo,